people, back again, Lake Station community advocate and educator, and hopefully you can take something from this. No, I just wanted to touch on the fact that I always address behaviors of leaders because there's a reason you're a leader, and for me, very passionately as a leader, you need to hold yourself to a superiorly high standard. Not enough to beat yourself up that you drive yourself crazy, but enough to know that those that you're leading are progressing and they're growing. Not trying to be a toxic leader, trying to be a good, true leader. And that comes from self, it comes from character, it comes from something that you believe, not from something you say you are, and it is very clearly distinguished that you're not. Because you can paint a face on, but it doesn't mean that's who you are. If you don't know who I am, I'm the Lake Station Community Advocate and Educator. Go check out Lake Station Strong Towns Collective on Facebook, YouTube, obviously we're on TikTok, and we also have a website on Lake Station Strong Towns Collective Facebook page. But I want to say this, no way does this reflect on the organization or any sort of group or set of people. It doesn't affect on them. It doesn't have an effect on those people. However, it may seem like that because I'm clearly distinguishing behaviors of people themselves, not attacking those people's, just their behaviors. But in my last video you watched on cowardly leadership traits, you will find that there are some things that need to be addressed within our community. And you know that I'm very for community. And if leadership's got some bad qualities and some bad seeds and there's some toxicity, we all know how that's going to end up for the community because it's going to stem through like a bad virus. But let me touch on this. Now, as you all know, you know where I live, but it says that if you can pay $200 for hair and $100 for nails and new iPhone, you have no business looking for free school supplies. I said what I said. Now, it's of no surprise that very quickly you see this and think, wow, that's, and that's what you should be. But if you're going, ha, yay, you're loving it, I'd stand back a bit. But here's what I wanted to touch on. Is one, we know that this is self-soothing. As I mentioned in the last video, bullies bully because it's self-soothing. It makes them feel good, helps them feel powerful, puts them on a platform, and, well, altogether it's control. This ain't the first time, and I've mentioned this. As we see, this is from when initially was, well, you get the concept. But it's self-soothing, it's self-gratifying for the bullies to bully others. And it could be verbal, it could be online, it could be whatever the case is. And if your leadership within your company, within your organization, or within your group, your in-group, there's always different settings and different groups. We don't know that. Look at a school lunchroom and you'll see the different in-grouping. And I went through bias and perceptual set with this sentence, and you can pause this, tell me how many F's there are, do it quickly please. But I wanted to address some things within this video. Now it says that if you can pay for hair, $200 hair. Well, first off, it's not your business if somebody's spending $200. The second thing is I want to address is, what if this person was asked to be a beautician model for a graduating beautician school student? And they got that hair, right? Oh, it was a $200 haircut, I got it for free. Maybe what you're saying is you misheard what you thought, so you're placing yourself into conversations that probably weren't yours, so you're making bad assumptions. Maybe a friend did it and said, hey, you want to come over? I need to practice. I haven't had any customers lately. Hey, would you like for me to do like a $200 haircut? Hey, would you mind? Maybe this person, like all disabilities that can't be seen, maybe they're going through some depression, some self things that nobody else sees. Maybe they wanted to feel good about themselves, and that's probably the only way that they could have. So they went and they saved up for some hair. I would rather them spend it on hair if they're depressed than to spend it on drugs, substance abuse, and slamming them back. That's a better choice, in my opinion. They're not gambling. They're not doing substances. They're not... You get what I'm saying here? Because not all disabilities can be seen. Maybe this person who did pay for that $200 hair, maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but maybe they need it for their depressiveness. Maybe their therapist said, you know what, just go put some money on yourself. Go put some money on yourself. If you've been spending money on everybody else, you deserve some time for yourself. But again, there's some assumptions being made here. If you can pay for it, who said they paid for it? Like I said, maybe there was a student that was a beautician. Maybe they're helping a niece or a nephew through beautician school. Maybe they're helping somebody start a business and they wanted to show it off. But that person who's starting a business still has to make money. The second thing I want to touch on is $100 for nails. Now, ladies, I know enough to know nails are expensive. Just saying. But they're not like the lean press-on nails. Maybe that's what they were because they look pretty decent today. Maybe they're press-on nails from the dollar store. Maybe those nails were put on by their grandchild and they wanted to show them off. But again, one can only guess. But I know this much. That's nobody's business what somebody else spends. Because like I said, maybe it's for themselves. Maybe it's because they're grandkid. Maybe it's because they're child. Maybe it's because of niece or a nephew. But the new iPhone. There are some deals right now with iPhones where if you buy a couple iPhones and you get a package deal, you get an iPad. Because my niece got one. Just saying. But maybe it looks like an iPhone, but it's really a government phone. Maybe it was a cell phone that a family member bought them, and they were just happy that they got the phone, and they were bragging like everybody does, right? They're happy, they're excited, they want to tell people what someone else did for them. I mean, was the phone given to them? Did a family member buy it? Who knows the situation? But to make an assumption to say that you have no business looking for free school supplies. I said what I said. I want to touch on this. Quite a few years ago, me and my wife gave about $4,000 to $5,000 of Christmas toys for the community. They were meant for the poor community members. And yes, we have bank receipts to prove this. But it was shown off as we didn't pay for them, someone else did. But they couldn't come up with receipts. But here's the crazy thing is the people who got to choose those toys that were for the poor community members work for the police department, for the fire department, for the city clerk's office. And last I checked, we're overpaying a fire person well over $100,000 a year for not doing much. So when we talk about you have no business looking for free school supplies, well, you ain't got no business looking for free Christmas toys. But that's neither here or there. But I just wanted to prove a point. Now, what's really sickening is, as I said, within perception, observation, or perceptual set, as I've mentioned, how many F's were in this? Did you count 3? Did you count 4? 5? How about there's 6? Yes, the actual numbers, there's 6 F's in this. And if you read that too fast and you didn't see 6 the first time, that's because you saw things with your eyes, but you still didn't believe it. Which is why I'm calling out cowardly leadership and bullies. And that could be of a company, an organization, a group, an in-grouping, a peer group, mayor, administration, or whoever it is. Because you, especially if you're in a leadership position, shouldn't be bullying anybody and you should be talking smack. Especially when you're guilty of quite a bit of stuff, bud. Or ma'am, whatever comes first. But I wanted to touch on this before I leave. This isn't the first time that this mayor has done this, and yes, I'm calling you out because your behavior sucks. Quite frankly, it's pretty self-soothing and pretty conceited to bully your own community. And in this video, I've made another video on this specifically, but he hashtags this person coward, and their only really complaint was the Christmas lights look drabby. But here's what's really funny. This is when he first got in, and I want to make it very known that, P.S., the tornado alarm is already in motion for next year. So that means in 2021, there should have been a tornado siren for our community. It's now 2024, at the end of 2024, and we have yet to have a tornado siren. So who's talking smack? And like I said, cowardly leadership shows exactly who they are, what they believe, what they value, and what their character is, naturally. And if you feel offended, fix it. Because if you're offended, it's not my problem. I'm not trying to be a bad leader. I'm just telling you, if you have a problem with what I'm saying, that's your problem. Fix your behavior. It's not my problem. But I'm the Lake Stage community advocate and educator. I hope I've educated you a little bit. Be the change you want to be the change you want to see. Be an eagle, don't be a crow. And by the way, in my next video, I'll be taking care of the Be an Eagle, Don't Be a Crow story. And check out Lake Station Strong Towns Collective. And like I said, in no way does this reflect on organizations or on groups. Thank you. Oh, by the way, truthfulness, integrity, honesty go a very long way.